Hey, Mike with No Problems Gaming here. In today's video, we'll be covering another new Nintendo Switch eShop sale and 10 RPG deals worth buying, so let's get into it. The first game on today's list is 9 Parchments. And so 9 Parchments is a top-down action RPG dungeon crawler similar to the Diablo series. And you'll play as different aspiring wizards who ditch their studies to go out and find the legendary 9 Parchments. And so the game features online and local co-op play for 1 to 4 players. It also features many multiple playable characters, several that you can unlock as well. And you'll control your various characters, unleashing different magical attacks. And on top of that, you can actually combine your different attacks together, creating super powerful magical abilities. As you level up, you'll gain points to allocate towards various different power-ups and abilities for your characters. It's maybe not quite as robust as a Diablo game, but it has that similar feel. And so if you're looking for another dungeon crawling action RPG with some great local co-op, I would definitely recommend it. The next game is Write Down and Dice. And so this is a very unique RPG that combines dungeon crawling with puzzle elements, dice building, and more. And the game is really focused on strategic combat. There's not much of a story, but I don't really think that matters as it really makes up for it in addictive gameplay. And so the general premise of the game is that you can either move your character right or down, and as you do so, you'll need to strategically move yourself across the map to make it towards the dungeon exit. And so similar to its predecessor, you will play as different characters, so warriors, mages, necromancers, and much more. And each one features a very unique play style. And so throughout the game, you'll have different dice types that you can use based around elemental abilities. So it might be a fire dice or an ice dice or nature dice. And certain dice can be used to activate abilities, attack enemies, and more. And so it's cool where you'll need to strategically place those die in order to be effective. Throughout your different runs, you'll be able to unlock new abilities, add extra die to your dice pool, acquire new relics that grant special abilities, and more. And so it's easy to pick up when you have a few minutes to spare to test out another run throughout the dungeon. As I mentioned, there's multiple playable characters that you can unlock, different dungeon modes to try out, new abilities for each character that you can mix and match to give yourself a unique experience every time you run through the dungeon. It's super addictive and a ton of fun, and I definitely recommend it. The next game is Labyrinth of the Witch. And so this game is a roguelike mystery dungeon style RPG where you'll play as a young girl as she tries to find a magical orb that's said to grant any wish possible. And so you'll be diving into multiple dungeons trying to find this orb. And as I mentioned, it has that mystery dungeon style feel where it is roguelike. And so each time you enter a dungeon, it's a new experience. And so every step that you take will also trigger a monster action throughout the dungeon. And so you'll need to strategically move yourself throughout the dungeon, unleashing attacks. And so you'll need to go throughout the dungeons and defeat enemies, dodging different traps, and loot different treasures as you explore. Your character will have both ranged attacks and melee attacks, and so you'll need to balance that throughout combat as well. There's multiple playable characters to choose from and unlock, each with their own playstyle and unique skill set. I think if you're a fan of puzzle games, roguelike elements, and RPGs, this is definitely one worth checking out as well. The next game is Wizardry. And so Wizardry is actually a remake of one of the earliest RPG games ever made. And so it's a first-person dungeon crawler that actually inspired many of the classic RPG series like Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest and much more. And so you'll need to build out your party of characters as you go on a quest to find a hidden amulet deep in the depths of a massive dungeon. Another cool element is this is a remake of the original game, as I mentioned, and it's also built on the original game's code. And so you can flip back and forth between seeing the original game on screen and see how it compares to the modern version. And so that's really a cool thing as well. With that in mind though, it's not a remake in the sense that they make it way easier. It really has that original level of challenge to the game. They simply remade it graphic wise and added some more quality of life enhancements to the game as well. And so if you want that old school dungeon crawling challenge, this RPG is worth checking out as well. The next game is Elderand. And so Elderand is a retro-inspired Souls-like action platformer RPG. It has that dark fantasy feel, but it's focused around exploration and combat. Your character is more generic, but you'll have multiple weapon types to choose from, which will unlock different play styles for your character. Another cool element is that as you level up, you'll really be able to completely customize your stats, adding it to various areas like strength, magic ability, defense, and much more. As I mentioned before, it does have that Metroidvania style exploration, which is really fun to unlock and progress. It has challenging bosses, the ability to craft weapons, really cool pixel art style, and much more. And so if you're looking for more of an action platformer style RPG, I'd recommend this one as well. The next game is Roguebook. And so Roguebook is a turn-based RPG meets deck building game with some tabletop RPG-like exploration. And so it's a cool concept where you'll play as different heroes that are trying to escape a magic book that they've been trapped within. And so you'll explore the book, which functions, as I mentioned, almost like a board game or a tabletop RPG, where much of the map is hidden, and you'll move your character around the board using paint brushes and ink to unlock hidden areas. And as you do this, you'll uncover different monster encounters, relics and treasures along the way you can add to your inventory, giving you new abilities, shops where you can buy card upgrades and new items, mines to explore, and much more. Now, most of the battles are also optional, where you don't have to engage in combat, but it does have more of a press your luck type mechanic with it, where you might risk damaging your character's health, but if you do decide to engage in battle and you win, you can unlock more powerful cards, items, and gold that you can use on future upgrades for your character. Combat itself will pull from a deck building mechanic where each unique character that you play as has their set deck to choose from, but as you progress and expand and level up your characters, you'll improve their health and unlock more powerful card types that can be within their deck. And as you progress over time, your deck becomes more powerful, allowing you to take on more challenging enemies and even intense boss fights. Each character can level up, but you can also unlock a skill tree and level that up and progress through there as well, which can benefit all of your characters, unlocking new abilities as well. It's one of my favorite RPGs on the Switch, and I definitely recommend it. The next game is Hogwarts Legacy, the Deluxe Edition. And so this is an open world action RPG set within the Wizarding world, and you're going to play as a new 5th year student at Hogwarts as they uncover some unique ancient magic. And so this game takes place within the 1800s, so it's a little bit different time frame than the Harry Potter series, but you'll encounter a lot of the same elements, like the classes that you take throughout Hogwarts. You'll be able to learn spells, ride brooms, train fantastic beasts, and much more. It has a massive world to it, where not only will you be able to explore within Hogwarts, but many of the surrounding areas and classic areas from the books. Another great element is the combat, where you'll be taking on various monsters and dark wizards. It has a very compelling story and a very immersive world. And so if you're a fan of action RPGs, open world RPGs, and the Harry Potter series, this game is a must play as well. The next game is Children of Morta, the Complete Edition. And so this game is a roguelike dungeon crawler action RPG where you'll play as the Bergson family as they try and stop an evil corruption that's encroaching and destroying the land. And so one really cool feature of this game is you'll actually play as all of the members of the Bergson family, giving you multiple different play styles, different characters to level up, unique abilities for each one, which I think really adds to the replay value. On top of that, with it being more of a roguelike game, all of the dungeons are procedurally generated, keeping things fresh every time you go through. And so you'll be able to level up your individual characters and power them up, but also level up and improve the family as a whole. And it also has a unique mechanic where some of the family members will get tired if you use them over and over again, which would give them more weaker stats and weakened abilities. And so it almost forces you to try out and play as the other characters. And I thought that was a cool mechanic where you're not just sitting playing as the same character over and over again the entire time. And it gives you that option to really try everybody out. This edition also includes the Family Trials mode on top of the story mode, so there's definitely a lot of content here to dive into. It features local co-op, multiple expansions that have come out so far for the game, and much more. If you like action RPGs with roguelike mechanics, this game is a must-play as well. The next game is Cat Quest. And so Cat Quest is a lighthearted action RPG full of cat puns and humor. And you're going to follow your hero as they explore the land of Felingard on a quest to save your kidnapped sister. And so it has fast-paced combat mixed with a fun, quirky story. You have quite a bit of flexibility with your character. Even though it is more of a lighthearted RPG, there's really multiple build strategies depending on what equipment and items you give your character. So you could have more of an aggressive melee character or more of a magic user or something in between. There's plenty of side quests to tackle and take on. It does have more of an open world feel, so you can really explore the world at your leisure. It's definitely fun for the whole family, and it's one of my favorite RPGs on the Switch, and I definitely recommend it. The final game on today's list is Blasphemous. And so Blasphemous is a Dark Souls-like Metroidvania RPG, and you'll be exploring a dark and gruesome world as you try and rid the land of an evil curse. The game features incredibly challenging combat where you'll really need to master your skill set of attacking, dodging, parrying, and more if you hope to survive. You'll be able to take on massive epic bosses throughout the game and explore a land filled with evil horrors and incredible pixel graphics. As you progress, you can find different relics, rosary beads, prayers, and other items to really upgrade and unlock and grow your character's ability. I think if you like challenging Souls-like dark RPGs, this one's definitely worth picking up as well. And so that wraps up our list on today's video of 10 RPG deals worth buying in this latest Nintendo Switch eShop sale. And if you're going to pick up any of these games or have played any of them before, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you like this video, be sure to hit that like button as it really helps out the channel. And if you'd like to help support our channel, we actually partnered with a game store, Nutmeg Games. So if you like things like Pokemon cards, Yu-Gi-Oh cards, board games, and more, head to nutmeggames.com/nerdproblemsgaming or use our promo code nerdproblemsgaming at checkout, and you can get 10% off your order and help support our channel at the same time. So if you want to take advantage of those great deals, be sure to head there and use our code as well. And if you like videos like this on video games, board games, and everything nerdy, check out one of our other videos here. And if you haven't done so yet, be sure to subscribe and turn on the bell notifications to get the latest updates of new nerd videos we put out and to make sure you can take advantage of these future sale videos and these great deals. But once again, thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll talk to you more soon.